I'm Andrea from Camel Country 108, Phoenix, Arizona. As much as I enjoy working every morning with Tim and Willie on the radio, I would love to guest co-host for a day with Regis. I'm a huge fan of this show. I would do a great job. Just want to live this dream for a day. But don't just take my word for it.
This is Senator John McCain from the great state of Arizona. I endorse Andrea as a guest host on Regis and Kelly, and I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of Arizona to Camel Country 108, Senator John McCain is here. Welcome, Senator.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. Thanks very much. And Andrea, I know that you're at the top 10 and you're a shoo-in now. Unless they've got some liberal commie Democrat that's making the choice. So we'll know if you don't make it, it's pure politics.
It's all politics, man.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
We're proud of you.
I am so thankful to you. I could not give you enough thanks for what you did, because that just... You made what could have been a very dull and boring 30-second campaign video for me very funny and very likable, because,
powerful, too.
Powerful, exactly.
Well, I wish that you enjoy success, which I obviously didn't. So, by the way, Frank and Trish are following us. Andrea's parents out in Warren, Ohio. Welcome, Frank and Trish. And
they are.
We know you're proud of your daughter.
We have a laptop set up, and it's aimed at Andrea and Senator McCain, and they are actually Skyping with us now. There's Frank sitting in the big easy chair, and Trish is doting around behind.
It's a huge day for my entire family.
This is breaking news.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, listen, I had a question for you I thought about on the way over.
Okay.
Should Snooki go to jail? Or, I have a question for our listeners.
Yes.
Is Snooki too good looking to go to jail?
Good looking?
No.
Wow.
This has given a whole new meaning to our justice system.
Yeah.
You got to admit. You got to admit. And I'm kind of leaning towards Snooki being too good looking. I don't know.
I'm just tickled to death that you know who Snooki is, because I believe our president tried to dodge that question when he was asked who is Snooki.
Right.
Hey, he is hip.
I get a very quick story. Snooki Twittered that she said she was mad because they raised the taxes on tanning prices. So
exactly.
She said she was mad at Obama. He raised the taxes, and she said John McCain would never have raised taxes because he's so pale. So I tweeted back. I said, "You're right, Andrea. I would never raise taxes on tanning salons, and be sure to wear sunscreen."
Yeah, no doubt.
So that was my brief moment of fame.
You tell her.
So now I've been worried about what's going on with her, of course, since I have this attachment. And but I kind of think she might be too good looking to go to jail. I don't know. Maybe you ought to have a poll of our listeners as to whether Snooki should or not.
Certainly, you can call us up and let us know. Jail, yes or no for Snooki.
Hey, maybe we'll have to look for him on Jersey Shore soon.
Yeah.
I could see a guest appearance.
Oh,
how about that?
Yeah, you'll just have to get yourself painted orange. That's why she can't go to prison. She can't wear one of those suits.
As a powerful member of the Senate, do you have any influence in whether or not she goes to jail? Have you made a few calls?
Amnesty, is something that a presidential pardon, I'm sure. Well, no, after what she said about President Obama and raising taxes, I think that's out, Snooki. You're going to have to try another method here.
Let me ask you this. We know what the power was of you advocating for Andrea on the Regis and Kelly show. The other day, I got a ticket because my registration is out on my truck. I apparently had let that slide.
Expired tags.
Yeah. Would you mind? Do you have time to go down to the motor vehicle department with me today?
It'd be a pleasure. On occasion, I know the way down there.
Oh my gosh, Senator. So
having had kids that grew up here, I know the way.
There's no fast track down at the DMV. I don't know what it is, but Senator.
Well, I've been called for jury duty right after the primary. So,
how'd that work out?
I haven't gone yet, but sometimes it makes for interesting work.
I got to tell you this. I was picked for a jury about a month ago for a 3-week criminal trial. It was fascinating. And it was also heartbreaking because, it's weird how, especially this, as Americans, as in our culture now, we're asked for our opinion about everything. There's all these polls, and we're always voting for not just senators and presidents, but also Snookies, for American Idols. And so our opinion is always being asked for. But in a trial, in this very serious trial, when it really counted, it was a kind of a sobering thing for me because I'm just a knucklehead on the radio, but I really had to step up as a citizen. So I want to say it was a fascinating experience to be on a jury, and it was also a kind of a life-changing experience for me too.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Too many people obviously don't fulfill that duty. And by the way, those of you that haven't done your duty yet and gotten your early ballot or gone to vote early, be sure to do that.
Is that how they find you, by the way?
Well, yeah, you're a registered voter, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's how they do it.
Yep.
By the way, don't forget what the mayor of Chicago once said: vote early and vote often.
Exactly. Yes.
Everybody to do that.
Yeah, including the dead people.
There you go. They honor the dead in Chicago because they let them continue voting.
It's their own little tribute there.
There you go.
All right. Senator John McCain is in studio with us. We're going to ask him some semi-serious questions here in just a moment. Are you taking those from Tim and Willie today?
Absolutely.
All right, then. It's Camel Country 108.
I'm a John McCain supporter, obviously. I came up with this phrase, Raisin McCain, like Raisin Cane.
We're all just Raisin McCain.
At the end of the day, go vote. Go stand in that line, wait your turn, pull the lever, punch the button, and make sure your voice is counted on either side of the ticket. That is one of our greatest freedoms. You look at John McCain, a guy that was physically tortured for 5.5 years in Vietnam, had his bones broken, and nobody reset him. He reset his own arms. Have you ever noticed that when he holds his mic, he holds it like this? That's because his arm doesn't work right, because when they snapped his bones, there was no doctor there to reset his bones for him, so he reset them himself.
Wow. That is our buddy John Rich, formerly of Big and Rich, now just of John Rich, and talking about Raisin McCain.
He's a great guy,
yeah.
and we traveled with us, and he was a lot of fun. And by the way, I don't mean to continue on this thing with Regis and Kelly, but
please do. Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy here going on? Now, look, a conspiracy that Shannon Murphy and Jen Hobby and
Kristen Cruz,
Detroit, Atlanta, and L.A.
Right.
There's some sort of conspiracy going on that they agree to vote for each other.
Yeah.
We may have to have a congressional investigation of this cabal here. That is,
cabal.
And how could you possibly join with anybody from L.A.? Do you know they're boycotting Arizona?
Well, but she's married to a firefighter.
I liked her.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
I
right.
liked that.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Now,
I'm going to do something right now that you're not used to in politics. So when you ask that question about is there a conspiracy, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's
Much
legal.
like the Kennedy assassination.
Exactly.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Because when you vote for Andrea, you have to pick 3 others. They won't let you vote for just
okay.
Andrea. So we are hoping that as we are promoting the other girls, their stations will also be promoting Andrea, and we'll get her. We're going to find out tomorrow.
How's that working out?
We'll find out tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. Yeah. So
All right. Now, voting ends when?
tonight at 6 p.m. Arizona time.
All right. We're going to have to Twitter again. I'm afraid.
Can
We're
you?
going to have to Twitter. We can Twitter 10 times. The great thing about Twitter. you
Between
can tweet
Senator
and tweet.
McCain's Twitter and ours, we have a combined 1.27 million or something
And-
like that.
All right, but I also have to tell you, though, that last year when Mark Reynolds was in the running for All-Star,
Yes.
Yeah.
and I Twittered, everybody vote for him, I have to tell you, he didn't make it. So he should have. He should have.
Yes. Yeah, he should have. But
Anyway,
Well, how much did you spend on that campaign?
on the Reynolds campaign,
Yeah.
I think a Twitter probably or a tweet is probably about a nickel.
the nickel a tweet. Okay.
It is tweeting is amazing, and your daughter Megan is one of the very first people I started following because she's just so much
She gets
fun.
me in trouble almost every day.
Well, and because of her tweets, I know that you had payway for dinner last night. How was it, by the way?
It was good.
The lettuce wraps.
Excellent. Lettuce wraps are good. You know, they should start advertising on Camel Country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should.
Dan noodles? No?
No, just lettuce wrap, a few pot stickers, and
That's how we roll.
yeah, that's quite a success story. Payway and PF Chang's.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Senator,
Anyway, how do we get spun off on that?
I know.
Tweeting does that.
We could ask you a million questions. But first
one,
of all,
one tweet real quick.
Okay.
Very briefly, I was with my son Jimmy in Canyon de Chelly 2 months later, and we did pictures, you know, to connect with and with the Twitter that we did about it. I was in Erbil, Kurdistan, the prime minister, who was educated in the United States, comes in, and I say, "Hi, how are you?" And he says, "Fine, how are you?" He says, "Weren't you in a canyon in Arizona with your son a couple of months ago?" This is a worldwide thing. And finally, I don't mean to get too serious, but when the demonstrations in Iran took place and those young people were being beaten and killed in some cases, they were twittering all over the world.
Yeah.
The world knew of what was being done to them. And so this is a great force, frankly, for freedom and democracy, for people to be heard.
It is a great venue for expressing real opinions and not government-controlled opinions oftentimes.
And many of those opinions that I receive are not repeatable on this show.
I can imagine.
Well, between Twitter and Facebook and
tweeting,
and YouTube, you know, I've told Willie, I said my goal is to one day have a book that gets on the Oprah Book Club, and I've got about a pamphlet right now. I don't even have a chapter yet, but I have the theme of my book is going to be about how for many years we grew up being afraid of Big Brother, that Big Brother was going to watch us. But I think that with everybody having a camera now on their own phone and being able to post that instantly on the internet, it's all about being afraid of Little Brother. We're all Little Brother. We're all videoing each other and posting it and embarrassing each other in some ways. And so I think that's my theme: Little Brother, not Big Brother.
And frankly, and I'm not complaining, but whatever I do, wherever I am, whatever I say, I have to think to myself, somebody is recording this.
No doubt.
Like
that's
right
amazing.
now.
That's life. That's life. And I'm not complaining.
I have one semi-serious question for you, Senator McCAIN, who's in studio with us here on Camel Country 108. And as our bosses came in to say hi and meet you, and you said you asked them right away, "Hey, how's business?" I mean, you're always concerned with that, obviously. What can you tell our listeners? Because there are still so many people who are underwater in their home mortgages, and their foreclosures are just so huge. Is there any light at the end of this economic tunnel, and what can we do?
I have strong long-term optimism about this country because we're still the most innovative, most productive, highest quality worker. I was over at GoDaddy yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about,
we love GoDaddy.
You talk about technology. I mean, it's incredible. It's unbelievable. Okay, but in the short term, this administration's policies of spend, tax, is harming our economy very badly, and I'm afraid we're going to stumble along for a period of time here. Long term, I'm totally optimistic because I believe in the American people, but I don't think you can keep spending the way we are. We're mortgaging our children's futures. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And also, we got to secure our borders, by the way. But in the short term, I'm afraid that there's going to be some unemployment problems stay with us for a while. But again, look, iPad wasn't invented in China. We're still the most innovative and productive nation in the world, but boy, we're in tough times, and elections matter. And by the way, after I lost the election in November of 2008, I slept like a baby. Sleep 2 hours, wake up and cry. But
that's good to know.
Anyway.
All right. Well, it's, I mean, we just got to hang in there.
I'm worried because of this long term. The debt is so crushing.
That's
what the Tea Parties came from.
Yeah.
Can anybody save it?
Sure. Stop the spending.
Just stop the spending
and get it under control.
That's what we would do.
New British government, conservative government, guess what they've done? Stop spending.
Yeah, there it is.
Can be done.
As they say, tough times never last, but tough people do. And here's a guy that knows a little bit about that.
It's a good line.
So, all right. Well, all the way back to when we started this break, we played a little clip of John Rich. I want you to know that we're doing a thing called the Camel 8-Man Jam. 8 different performers. They're not all men. In fact, some of them are quite attractive women. But it's going to be one night just kind of pulling out their guitars, telling stories. And John Rich is one of those guys. So
that's great.
If you're around, we would love to have you there.
When is it?
It's going to be September 1st.
September 1st. If I'm in town, I will be there. I look forward to seeing John. He's a wonderful guy.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great songwriter and incredible human being.
Well, listen.
When somebody comes out and supports you like that, there's always a downside to it for them because there are people that are supporting your opponent. John has a lot of courage as well as talent.
I think you're right. And I like people who speak their mind. Whether you agree with them or not, they're a lot easier to understand than some people who don't.
Now, Senator, one thing here before we go to a break. I know that you voted for Andrea and you really helped her out, but I'm bringing you a gift. I have here a bottle of water with a patriotic koozie. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
I hope you like it.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
It's a re-gift.
It's a re-gift.
Just so you know.
Getting back to our Twitter, should we? You want us to Twitter say?
I love you.
You want us to say vote for Andrea Shannon?
No, just say vote for Andrea.
Just vote for Andrea.
Just say vote for Andrea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep it simple.
Senator
Thanks
McCain,
for having me on. Gang.
thank you for being in studio with us.
Vote early and vote often.
Thank you for your support of Andrea, and we remind everybody the primary is coming up in just a couple weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck with that.
Thanks.
All right. Senator John McCain, everybody.
Wow.
Yay.